sorry about that. Part two of Slick's Customs, if we got cut off. So we were talking about transmissions. On your recommendation, as far as your transmissions and whatnot, so you basically are using a T5 transmission, and you got your own little secret as far as what you do as far as getting those T5s going.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So when you want to get when I come down to Slick's Customs, and I come down here, I come and I meet you, I reach out to you on Instagram, I reach out to you over the phone, and I bring you my vehicle, and I already know the time limit as far as that. Do you have set prices as far as like, I mean, can the guy just come and bring you just a ratty truck that he just basically pulled out of the field? And what would something as far as like putting a motor or transmission and a rear end and the framework, I know it's hard to shoot a price, Johnny on the spot, but as far as if you're doing a rebuild, let's just say, do you carry motors or do you have?
I got motors all over my shop.
And these are specifically for customers as far as, okay. Yeah.
And then I go around looking, Craigslist, if I'm up at 5 in the morning on the internet already looking for motors, transmissions, and rear ends.
Oh, wow. So, I mean, well, yeah, this is your business, so I understand. I totally get that. And you also buy cores and stuff?
Yeah, I buy cores.
You buy cores. So, Instagrammers, if you guys are out there, obviously he buys cores. Reach out to him if you got an engine sitting around that you just want to get rid of. I mean, that's great. I mean, that's the way you keep this hobby going. Do you have any words to somebody if they get discouraged, or any words of inspiration to somebody that wants you? I mean, because obviously you've gotten inspired by generations of family working on these. Do you have any what do you have to say to somebody that's wants to start in this business as far as
it's anybody can do this. It's dedication. You have to have dedication and a set of balls to just get up and do it. A lot of people want to do it. I'm gonna do it. No, you just gotta dedicate your time and put yourself goals. That's all I got where I'm at today, because I had goals. I had a lot of people tell me, you can't do that, you can't do it. Well, guess what? I proved you wrong. I got a badass shop in Southern California, and I'm young. For my age, what I got, a lot of people don't have. A lot of people told me, no, you can't do it. So guess what? I proved them wrong and went and did it.
And I just did an interview with Custom Paul, and he's out here in California, and I had the interview with him, and he basically pretty much said the same thing as far as it was out there to prove people wrong. And I guess there are just a lot of naysayers out there that just gonna they just, maybe it's a whole jealousy thing, maybe it's where like they don't have the balls to do it or whatnot, but obviously if you prove it wrong, because I can only imagine what the overhead is, and it's got to be a lot more overhead out here in California than it would be.
We pay triple what everybody else pays.
Yeah, so I can only imagine that. When you do your work, is the majority of it all in-house, or how does that go? Do you farm out work?
The only thing I farm out is the machine shop. Everything else is done here. I don't do upholstery, but we do fabricating, painting, body and fender, glass, wiring, pretty much everything except for upholstery.
Everything except for upholstery and machine work, guys. So this is basically pretty much a one-man shop then, right?
I used to work by myself, but I have 3 helpers now. I got Jacob, Steven, and Aaron. They're my apprentice, and they're picking it up pretty fast.
You guys want to come in here and say hi, guys, for Instagram, or no? No. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, no, that's pretty good. I had another question for you, but I have to pull it off here, but I'm gonna kind of just go a cappella on this. When do you do hydraulics, or do you ever mess around with hydraulics? Because I see you have a lot of C notches and whatnot. Is it?
I haven't done hydraulics, but I have a 48 flea line that I'm gonna pull out this summer, and I'm gonna put hydraulics on it. I want to try something different. I've never done hydraulics. I've done my research on it. It's pretty much the same thing as bags. Bags have air, hydraulics have fluid. Same thing, it does the same concept. One takes batteries, the other one takes compressors. You know what I mean?
What do you recommend as far as, I mean, me personally, I always talk trash, and I mean, obviously I'm no disrespect to you, but I always thought that like airbags were for, safety, but I don't put anything on there as far as like airbags or anything. But what's your,
Okay, I have an answer for that. I
Okay.
own this truck. It's not bagged.
it looks great. Yeah, I like
I
that.
drive it every day. The guy that drives a car with bags is just like a weekend car.
Okay.
I drive the shit out of this. I put cabs back here, motors, frames.
Just
It's a work truck.
Hammering it.
It's not nothing special. It's just I built it for work.
Okay. So, is there a
I
recommend?
prefer stock suspension.
There you go. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'm kind of old school. I'll do blocks, D-arch springs. That's kind of my thing, and I like that. Maybe it's just, but that's just me being biased because maybe I can't afford to have, airbags. Maybe if I owned a vehicle that had airbags, maybe I'd change my mind. So that's my opinion. But like I said, it's just, it's just an opinion. I'm pretty sure Air Ride rides a lot.
Oh yeah, a lot, but especially in Southern California, you got potholes everywhere.
Oh, I agree.
You need air ride, but you can't put a 2,500-pound motor in the back of a car with airbags because you have to lift up the bed. You lose your space.
Yeah.
So I prefer D-Arc leaf springs. I don't use lowering blocks. I use D-Arc springs. It does what it has to do around here. It gets the job done.
Is there anybody, as far as like, since you started in this industry, was there anybody that you ever just like looked up to, or like was there somebody like? Because for me, there was a couple of people that I would look up to, and I would be like, man, I go, he was a really good, and there, I'm gonna go off that a little bit, and it goes back to magazines. Like I used to go every month to the store and go get a magazine, and now that we're losing magazines, it's kind of harder because on the internet, on Instagram, on Facebook, on social media, anybody can say, oh, I'm a car builder, I'm a custom car builder, I build cars. And when you first started, was there anybody that you looked up to, or was there somebody in a magazine that you would look to and say, man, that guy builds badass cars? And did you ever is there anybody like that?
Jesse James.
Jesse
He's one
James.
of the baddest fucking builders around. People don't like him, but guess what? I was 16 years old. I took a tour to his shop
In Long Beach?
in Long Beach, and I got fucking hooked. I got the bug right away. I met him. I don't know if he remembers me. I was a young kid fucking running amok. Went down to his shop. I spent the day there. I got hooked. Right after that, I went to a fabricating school in Glendora. I learned how to work with Bondo and paint, and I was 16 years old when I got into this game. I'm 34 now, so I have a little history with the cars behind. But Jesse James, that was my idol right there.
That's cool. Yeah, that's inspiring. Yeah, it's definitely inspiring. Now I'm gonna go back to that, kind of on that question. What do you feel now about like the whole Instagram? I mean, because obviously you had told me, and I'm good at remembering shit. You told me that 80% of your work comes in from Instagram. Okay, is the internet a good thing for you or a bad thing for you? As far as, because now everybody can be a car builder on the internet. You got all these internet social media gangsters that blah 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 blah. And I'm gonna go off of this a little bit, so hold on to that, because there's a custom car builder in the Midwest named Voodoo Larry, and they say that he's a shit builder and this and that and this and that, and everybody's entitled to their opinions, but that's taking away food out of somebody's mouth. So if somebody ever said, hey, Slick's Custom, Slick's Bomb Shop, he does shit work and stuff like that, that's going to take food out of your mouth. And how do you feel about these internet people? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And what do you feel about the magazines being gone?
Okay, growing up in Southern California, all there is here is gangs. So in Southern California, I don't know how it works anywhere else. If you have a problem with somebody, you go take care of the situation. And I've had people talk bad about me, but when I see them in person, it's a whole, hey, how you doing? So I don't know how to, I'm real. I'm from the streets. So if somebody's going to say something, I'm going to go confront them. But I'm real. I'm 100. I've only had 2 problems with customers taking their cars out. It's because they said I was taking too long. But I didn't kick their cars out. They took them out of their own wheel.
But do you feel that the internet is a good thing?
It's a good thing because you get to builders like me. A lot of people all over the world wouldn't recognize me or know who I was if it wasn't for the internet.
Yeah, well, my buddies from Michigan, they follow you and they were like, oh, I know who that is. We're going to that shop. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, it's good.
Voodoo Larry, I never knew who he was till I got on Instagram and checked out his work, and he looks like he does good work. A whole different style from the Southern California, but I've seen his metal work. It looks like he knows what he's doing. He's been in business. He has a big shop. I don't know the guy. I've seen his cars here at the Roaster Show. Kind of weird looking cars, but everybody has their own stilo.
Yeah, everybody has their style of things. Everybody does definitely things. Since you do trucks and stuff like that, and I'm gonna kind of this kind of like my question. Have you ever been on like Patrick's trucks in Casa Grande, or did you ever?
I used to order a lot of stuff from Patrick. His 4-speed shifters for the Saginaw.
Mm-hmm.
Before we knew about the 5-speed, that's where we're getting our shifters. Patrick's a cool dude. I've done some business with them.
Yeah, he recently the father passed away, and now it's Philip that runs the shop now, and I think they're going downhill. I think the internet really hurt them a lot as far as, I mean, it either works for you or it works against you, and I think the internet definitely worked against them, because they're just a mom and pops kind of place where, they just they had a lot of competition as far as that is concerned. With I'm going to go back to the 235s because I think a lot of people have questions with the 235s. When you were running the 235s on your trucks, what 235s do you recommend? Because I know they've got the earlier 53 through 54, if I'm correct, right? They have a 53 through 54 235. Then they've got a 55 through 62. What do you recommend? Because don't they have like different style motor mounts?
I like 53, 54.
Oh, is there a reason for that?
Because you open the hood and the fan's in the middle. It's got correct motor mounts.
So a 53, 54. I'm asking this question because I don't know, and I'm pretty sure. So a 47 through 54 style pickup truck, the 53 through 54 Chevy truck, 235 motor mount, or how does that work? Explain to me if you can. If you can break it down a little bit.
The 5354 corrects the fan in the middle. You have no issues with overheating. The water pump sits perfect. 55 to 62, fan sits kind of low. You have to modify a water pump to make it work. But to me, 216s, 235s, I can make them run the same. Okay. It's your running gear. They're good motors. You just got to have the correct running gear.
So you're telling me that a 216, the motor on a 216 and a 235, you can keep those compatible as the same? Wow. Yeah, me growing up, I always thought that like 216s were, shit motors, but man, that's maybe because
you can hear a 216 down the street.
Wow.
They got solid lifters. It's RPMs. You got to have RPMs to get it to go. I recently, my buddy Tommy bought a 48, had a 216. I took it on the freeway. I was going 75 miles an hour.
Wow.
No problem.
Really? In a 216? That's pretty...
My buddy Marty has a 48, and it has a early 235, and I've had that car up to 80 miles an hour on the freeway too, so it don't matter. It's like air and fuel. That's all you need. Air and fuel, and you can go. You have a recommendation for carburetors for... Rochester's. Rochester. That's your go-to carburetor? Yeah, I use Rochester's on everything. Okay. Is there a reason for that, or... I'm a Stromberg guy. I've never used Strongbirds. I have a motor that we built and it has Webers on it. Webers are great too. I like the Rochester. If I break down on the side of the road, I could take it apart and fix it real quick with no problems. Okay, so that would be your recommendation to somebody, because I did notice that a lot of people now are building. That's why I'm asking a lot about this 216, 235, and a lot of the questions people ask all the time is, the whole thing with the 235s, it's coming. I mean,
that whole nostalgic thing, people are yanking out those 350s, you know, that they put in, you know, the 90s and the early 2000s, and now they want to go back to this older stuff. In your opinion, what is like the best as far as nostalgic hop up accessories or parts for a 235 or 216?
Iskandari cam, Fenton headers, your transmission you're running. I run electronic ignition. Some guys like points. I like electronic ignition. I've never had no problems with them. Just little stuff like that. Those are little tips you can on a Rochester carburetor. You run a 75 jet, dude. Get a jet from a 216, put it on a 235, and there's a little trick right there.
There you go, guys. He just gave you guys a trick for you guys with building those stow bolts. That's pretty good. So a 75 jet out of what?
It's out of a Rochester, a 216.
And then you put that onto a later model.
A later model carburetor.
Okay, and that helps it run better.
Yeah. Electronic ignition and Fenton headers.
Okay, that's the go-to, because I heard the sound you driving this truck. It sounds amazing. It's definitely a different sound that I definitely, you know, I'm not used to hearing. So it does have that nice rapping sound, you know, with the pipes out there. All right, guys. I got one more question, and then you can punch me out after I ask this question. But I always have to ask one silly question. All right, I asked everybody, and if you follow me, if you haven't, and guys, he has no idea what I ask. So, in your opinion, have you ever heard that? Who would you marry? Who would you fuck? Who would you kill?
No.
Okay, it's who would you marry? So, like, back in the days, you would have, like, 3 hot chicks out there, and you'd be like, man, who the fuck? I would marry her, I would kill her, and I would fuck her, okay? That's the question, okay? So, remember, who would you marry, who would you fuck, and who would you kill, okay? Jesse James, the hot rod builder? Let me see, who else is another guy out there that you follow, or no? Pretty badass. Oh, don't leave me hanging like this. You just gotta throw out some builders out there.
Huh?
Bill Hines.
Gene Winfield.
Or Gene Winfield. Okay. Jesse James, Bill Hines, Gene Winfield. Who would you marry?
Bend fucking Jesse James over and give him some fucking chile right here. Straight up.
Okay. Who would you marry?
Probably Bill Hines, because he's old as hell and he ain't nothing gonna ever happen.
So who's the guy that you're gonna end up killing? So it was Gene Winfield. Poor, rest in peace.
Sorry, Gene Winfield, rest in peace.
I just seen him at Norm's this morning.
He's actually a good dude.
Oh yeah.
I always run into him at the SWAT. I don't know if he knows me, but I always ask him weird questions and he gives them back. He's not a dick.
And you're gonna kill him. You should have married him. Smart dude.
Yeah, but I think Bill Hines is badass. Okay. One of the baddest fucking car builders.
He was from Long Beach, right?
Yeah.
Or he's from Long Beach around here. All right, guys. Well, that concludes the interview. Thank you, Slick. I appreciate the reaching out. I appreciate the shop tour. Guys, if you guys got a 47 to 54 Chevy truck, he seems like the type of guy that if you reached out to him, I'm pretty sure that he would give you some advice. Seems like a really nice guy. You know, reach out to him. And if you don't have the time, which a lot of people don't have the time, please, you know, bring down your vehicle, you know, support local. Obviously, this guy knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. He's been doing this for quite some time. This is his specialty. And me being pretty anal about everything and all my builds, definitely, I give my recommendation. I'm looking at their work, and it's pretty. Don't be fooled by a small shop, because it's just like a fucking book. You can look at the book, you can look at the cover, but guys, it's an amazing story behind it. So don't be fooled by the shop. It looks like they do great work. They do everything in-house, so you don't have to worry about shit getting lost or hearing these problems of shit getting stolen or anything like that. They got an amazing guard dog out here that I seen. He's how old is he?
12 years old.
Badass little dog.
87 in dog year.
There you go. Well, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for Los Angeles tour of the shop. on Monday morning when you guys are listening to this podcast, it gives you something to inspire. And if you do want to open up a shop, man, like Slick says, you got to have a pair of balls to do it. Don't let people talk to you and